and welcome to this Lady Diversity Power interview with the one and only Shelli Brunswick. Welcome, Shelli.
Thank you so much, Karen. I'm so excited to be here and talk about the book Lady Diversity Power and how there's access and opportunity for everyone in the global space ecosystem.
Let's talk about that. Can you tell everyone who doesn't already know you what you do? It's the coolest job.
Well, thank you. I like to think I have the coolest job, but that's because I have the coolest team at Space Foundation. So, Space Foundation, we're a U.S. nonprofit that does business internationally. Many people know us for our annual Space Symposium that takes place every April, be April 17th to the 20th in 2023. We bring together the global space community to talk about the future of space. But even more important, is our Center for Innovation and Education that I'm so passionate about, which ties in with the book today. Because our Center of Innovation and Education is all about creating that pipeline for workforce development. So is that kindergarten through 12th grade, teaching teachers, and then adult non-accredited education, entrepreneurs, women empowerment, working with universities and incubators. So that's where I have a lot of passion. And that's why my job is the coolest job as the chief operating officer at Space Foundation, because I lead an amazing team that puts on the annual space symposium, that brings the global space community together. And when we're not doing that, we're working on building that workforce pipeline for the future, but also for today.
Oh, amazing. And your chapter is called Chief Operating Officer. So we'll get to that now in a moment. But education is key, isn't it, Shelley? For not only filling our mind full of information, but also when it ignites something within someone and they take action, that's when the magic really happens in life. And we can learn so much from space, can't we?
Absolutely. So many times people think, well, space is about exploration and going to the moon and on to Mars. And you know what? It is. It is about going to the moon and on to Mars, but it's also about bringing that space technology and innovation back to Earth, closing that loop on that ecosystem, and bringing together how space benefits us every day. Just like today, we're using an amazing platform called StreamYard. This platform is only made possible because of space technology. And I could add thousands of stories like fire retardant clothing. My husband was a firefighter for 30 years. He got to come home every night because of space technology and fire retardant clothing. Mammogram detection came from the Hubble Space Telescope technology. So think about the millions of women's lives that have been saved because of space innovation and then tech transfer. Some entrepreneur took that space technology, commercialized it, created a business, hired people, employed people, paid taxes, and then brought a benefit that helps us every day here on Earth. So I like to advocate about how important that workforce pipeline is, but also how space investment benefits us every day. And we're getting dividends every day from that Apollo era 60 years ago.
It's just so exciting. My mind's just buzzing here with all this information. It's just so exciting, and it is like out of this world thinking. But that's where the seeds of the next generation are planted, and the ball starts rolling for new innovative things. It's just beautiful. I just love the whole thought process and excites me, and it's so much more than just going to space. It's all of the learning, all of the nuances, everything for our future generations. And now we're really feeling it. Amazing.
Absolutely. And we're so excited. We're talking about Lady Diversity Power. And when we think about space, many times people think about the past. They think about how space was a space race between countries and government workers to put a man on the moon and safely return him. But space today is about diversity and inclusion. It's about 90 countries are now operating in space, and many more want to operate in space. It's about all age groups, generational. It's about gender equality. It's about skill sets. We may think like, oh, space is for astronauts and rocket scientists. And it is. It's for STEM professionals, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But it's also for program managers and policymakers, and technicians and teachers, and authors and astronauts and artists. So there are more than 50 different careers now in the space industry. So when we talk about Lady Diversity Power, we're also talking about opportunities for a diversity of backgrounds and skill sets to be part of the space industry.
You've answered my, why is diversity the new way to do business in space? That was my next question. And that's the thing, the opportunities are so diverse now as well for people who want to go and explore. And what does that look like, Shelley, for someone who, say someone who is just starting to think that is possible, because a lot of people would not think it would be possible to be part of such an experience. What would you say to those people?
Well, I have a roadmap for success for them, and it's a 5-step process. And it starts with awareness, access, training, connecting, and mentoring. So that first step is what we're doing today. We're building awareness. The book, Lady Diversity Power, is building awareness that there's a place for you in the space industry. That second step is finding an access point. Where are you in your career and in your region of the world to find an access point to come into the space industry? The third step might be lifelong learning, education. Maybe you need a formal degree. You know, if you want to be a rocket scientist, you have to have a rocket degree. However, if you want to be an author or an artist or a project manager or policymaker, you may or may not need a formal education. So that's the great thing. The space industry is now open to high school graduates, to PhDs, and everything in between, but you might need formal or informal education. The fourth step is networking and connecting, which we know our good friend Hazel Harrington from Harrington Publications is a whiz at. It's about building relationships, finding organizations that have like-minded ideas. So some of those in the space industry would be Space Generation Advisory Council, or coming to the Space Foundation's annual symposium, April 17th through the 20th, meeting with 11,000 people from around the world to talk about space. The Space Foundation also has a program for young professionals called New Gen. You could also look at some other organizations that are more focused in technology, like Women Tech Network. And that fifth step is about mentoring. And many of these organizations I just highlighted, Space Generation Advisory Council, Women Tech Network, the United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs Space for Women Mentoring Program, they all have mentoring programs. And even though women might be in some of their titles, they are open to men and women to be proteges as well as for men and women to be mentors. So please, for our listening audience, go check them out. Sign up for a mentor as well as sign up to be a mentor. So again, that roadmap to success: awareness, access, training, connecting, and mentoring.
Go on an exploration, guys. That's the thing. Go and explore this and find your way. And isn't that the way it is, Shelley? Whenever we think of space, we think of exploration. It's go into the unknown, face it and see where it brings you. It's exciting. It's exciting. And you may, come across something that really makes a big difference in the future for yourself and for others. It's so exciting. Shelley, this has been the best conversation ever. Honest to goodness, I love it. We've got so much of an insight and an introduction into the possibilities that there is out there within the space industry. So thank you so much for joining me. Guys, I know this is a chapter you're going to want to delve into, so go and get your copy of Lady Diversity Power. You can get it anywhere in the world. You can find all the links on www.kmdbooks.com/Lady Diversity Power. Again, Shelley, thank you so much for joining us.
And I look forward to seeing you around the galaxy.
Absolutely.